Madrid, the capital of Spain, a unique region with a multicultural history. Home to many peoples whose legacy has led this capital city to become what it now is, a city belonging to everyone and for everyone, where there is a place for you. Where you can be whoever you want to be, because Madrid is a variety of things. It is a city, but at the same time it is nature. It is hustle and bustle, but it is also tranquility. It is leisure, and it is business. It is a city where you can lose yourself and discover a culture that draws you in. Sunshine, tourism, sport, music, theatre, cinemas, universities, museums, parks and squares that bear witness to so much history. It is a crossroads city where you can enjoy both its history and its cuisine. We may not have a beach, but that doesn't matter to us. We have autumn in the Retiro Park or in the Casa de Campo. We have tapas in La Latina and squid sandwiches in Sol. We have our Gran Via, the Paseo de la Castellana, and 1,000 other streets that never sleep. And above all, we have our people. Madrid is the city for everyone. Feel free to come and discover it for yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Mariela Gomez. I am Manager of International Experience here at ESIC, and I am thrilled to be spending this next 30-45 minutes with you to talk about some important information that's going to help you with your onboarding to your new city, to your new program, and to ESIC. As you can see, you cannot open mic. That's done on purpose, but you can write your questions and doubts in the Q&A section. We will leave a few minutes at the end of my presentation to go through the questions that may arise. If they don't come up in this session, know that there are some emails at the end of the presentation that you can direct these questions that come to your mind later on today. Today's agenda is easy. Basically, we're gonna have a look at the campus that you're gonna study in terms of location and services at your disposal. We're gonna go through some information about onboarding, so what you need to know before arriving in Spain, what you should do before and upon your arrival to Spain. We're also gonna give you some information on how to find accommodation, how to move around Madrid, and basically just point you in the right direction for your relocation to Spain. We're quickly going to go through the beginning of your master's program. So just quickly check that the dates, you're aware of the dates. And we're going to go through key contacts and the people that you can be in touch with until the beginning of your program. Okay. So without further ado, let's start on our campus. Okay. Let's start knowing how to get to our campus, which is the most important thing that we need to know first. Now, our campus in Madrid is located in an area called Pozuelo de Alarcón. A few years ago, many years ago, Pozuelo used to be very far from Madrid center, or what you would call the most centric part of Madrid. Nowadays, Madrid has grown and expanded a lot throughout the whole area of the metropolitan area, if you will. And this means that Pozuelo is only maybe 10-15 minutes away from what we call center or the more central part of Madrid by car, and by bus it can be anywhere between 25 to 35 minutes depending on traffic and the different stops that you have to do before you get to the campus. Okay, now I'm telling you this because it's important to know that within Pozuelo de Alarcón we have two campuses. We have esic.university, which is our undergraduate campus. Okay, it's located in Avenida Valdenigriales, so it's not the address that we can see here. And pardon me, the business school campus, which is the campus in which you will be studying at, is in Avenida Juan 23 12. So it's this address that we have here. What I'm trying to get to is we have 2 campuses, and please be aware of writing the correct address, not direction, address on Google Maps so that you can get here safely and correctly, okay? If you end up arriving at our university campus, it's not a big deal. It's a 10, 12-minute walk to our campus, but we want to avoid that, especially on the first day. Now, knowing exactly where we have to go to, how can we get there? How can we come to campus? The easiest and fastest way is taking a bus, one of these buses here shown on screen, from Moncloa. Moncloa is a station in Madrid that has bus station and metro station, okay? So you want to look for the buses, the green buses. These green buses are called interurbanos. That means that they go a bit further from what the center of Madrid is, all right? So any of these buses will drop you off either very, very close, in front of the campus or very, very near it, okay? So you want to be looking for one of these buses if you come from Moncloa. That's the easiest and fastest way. We also have a train called Cercanías. Now, this train is also like this bus that I was mentioning before, and basically it covers outside areas other than metro areas, okay? So when we move inside of Madrid, we usually take the metro, but if we want to go a little bit further, like Pozuelo de Alarcón, Majadahonda, Aravaca, Cercedilla, other areas around Madrid, we can also take the train Cercanías. If you want to take the train Cercanías, then the easiest station from the center of Madrid would be Príncipe Pío, okay? That's the easiest way to get to campus by train. Now, when you get to Pozuelo de Alarcón, when you arrive in the station, you have to either walk for another 10, 15 minutes, more or less, especially the first days when you don't really know the address that well, or you can take another bus that drops you off in front of campus. I'm not sure if it's 363 or 563, but either way, when you write down the address in Google Maps, it'll tell you exactly what buses you can take in case you don't want to walk, okay? If the day is nice and the weather is friendly, then, we recommend that you can walk because it's actually a nice walk. So knowing how to get to campus, let's have a look at the services that we have at your disposal as well. So we have an international office, we have the professional development unit, we have ESIC entrepreneurs, we have ESIC alumni. ESIC alumni is more for when you're about to finish your program. But in any case, all of my peers from these teams are going to have a presentation for you. They're going to do a presentation for you in class or maybe even in the welcome ceremony. That's still to be determined. But in any case, they're going to come and tell you how you can benefit from their services and how you can access all the information they have for you, okay? So don't worry, it'll come in due time, but I just want you to know which services are going to be there for you once you're here. In terms of the facilities, well, you have a gym and changing rooms that you can use. So to access the gym, you have to go through the reception every day. You have to go through reception. Well, every time you want to go to the gym, you go through reception. You provide an ID or driver's license or some sort of documentation that identifies you, and you get in return a credential to enter both the gym and the changing rooms. We obviously have changing rooms for males and for females. These changing rooms have lockers and you can use them at no cost. You just have to bring your lock with yourself, and you can use them while you're training. You cannot use them before or like, oh, I'm going to get to campus early and just leave my stuff there all day. You can't do that. And you definitely can't leave it overnight, okay? That's important because they open the lockers every night before the gym closes. And if you have your stuff there, they'll take it away to lost and found, okay? So make sure that you only use it during the time that you're there. We have a hair dryer, we have shampoo, we have showers. It's quite a decent gym for people, if you are trying to compete, then probably you need more stuff. But for someone that's just trying to stay fit and mentally healthy, it's definitely a great spot, okay? So remember, you have to go through reception to get your credential. We also have unlimited Wi-Fi access. You don't need any passwords to access this Wi-Fi. You just have to try to connect to the ESIC network, okay? Just ESIC. And this pop-up will come up. You agree to terms and conditions. You can read them if you want. And then that's it. You have internet, unlimited access, okay? We also have study rooms and co-working spaces that are available to you and to all the students on campus. The study rooms are actually private. So private, I mean, you can use them to like work on a project or for a meeting or whatnot, and you can reserve them on the screens that are next to the doors. So you don't need any credentials or anything. You just need to reserve the slot that you want to be there in. Usually 2-hour slots. I don't think it lets you reserve for more than 2 hours at a time. Then you can extend it. We also have a parking lot with limited spaces in case you get a car. We have a terrace, which in the picture is to the bottom right, where you see those white chairs. That's the outdoor terrace that comes from the cafeteria. And we also have a rooftop terrace, which is on top of the cafeteria, on top of the outdoor terrace that I just showed you. And actually, those windows right there, where there's that grass, is the windows to the gym. They're the windows to the gym. Okay, so that's what you can see from the gym. Actually, the treadmills are there, and that's a rooftop terrace. Okay. Then we have the cafeteria. The cafeteria is a place that gives you the possibility to either have something quick, like, I don't know, a sandwich or like a croissant for breakfast or whatnot. Like they're open since 8 in the morning until 8 at night, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely breakfast and then an afternoon coffee. And in between, you can grab a sandwich quickly if you don't have much time to have lunch. But if you prefer to have lunch and like a proper lunch, then we have la cafeteria. Basically, yeah, the cafeteria is what we call it in English, I think. And you have the possibility to have a full menu. So you have like an appetizer or first course, then main course, dessert, bread, and a drink for around €8 more or less. You can pay cash or card. And you always have 2 options for appetizers and 2 options for main course. Okay, so you can choose from that. But say you don't really want to have that every day, then you also have a salad bar and you can build your own salad. This is there every single day. But even if you get bored of this and you prefer to bring your own food, that's fine. We have a fridge where you can keep your Tupperware for the day. Of course, you can't bring your meal prep for all week, but you can keep your Tupper for the day. And you can also heat it up in the microwaves that we have available to you as well at no cost as well, okay? In terms of outside the classroom, we have a pretty solid agenda that's made up of master classes, guest speakers, different events, meetups, sessions from all of our services, and many, many more activities. So I highly recommend that you stay tuned to your email and to the screens on campus, because that's where we inform students of the different activities that we have, okay? If you want to do a virtual campus tour, you just have to click here when you get the presentation, and you can see the facilities. You can have a closer look of the facilities, all right? Now, beyond the classroom and the agenda that I just told you about, we have other services or resources that are available to you as well at no cost. Here, for example, we have our innovation hub. So basically, this area of the school, they do a lot of research and they like to stay up to date on the latest trends in regards to business, technology, and innovation, okay? So it's quite interesting to read what they have made for us. If you want to learn a little bit more, say about other topics that you're not really covering in the masters, then we have esic Play, which is basically like the Netflix of education. So you have like videos that are like maybe 10, 15 minutes long on different topics, and you can listen to them and learn a little bit more about, you know, disciplines that you might not have included in your program. And last but not least, we of course have a blog. This blog is written by our experts, which can be faculty, researchers, even teammates that know a lot about a certain topic, and it's also free and accessible to you. All right, let's start diving deep into your new life in Spain. So most of you, no, I don't know that, but many of you have probably visited Spain. Many of you have probably visited Madrid, okay? Now, for those of you who haven't visited it yet, just to let you know, you're gonna love it. Madrid is an amazing city. It leaves everybody speechless because there's just so much to do for any kind of taste, like whether you are a foodie, whether you are tech savvy, whether you are into culture, there's always something to do in Madrid. So you're definitely going to be enjoying the city. Of course, there's life beyond Madrid. So I also encourage you to visit other parts of Spain. And You will be getting like a calendar of activities that are, like typical festivities around Spain. And yeah, I encourage you to, organize these trips to visit other parts of Spain and definitely dive into their culture. Okay. Now, because there's a lot to do in Spain, and in Madrid, talking about Madrid now, there are a lot of people in Madrid. So whenever you want to go to a restaurant, whenever you want to go to an exhibition, whenever you want to take that trip, whatever you want to do, I recommend that you make a reservation ahead of time, because otherwise, if you're looking to do one thing, you might run out of tickets or run out of spots. But you will definitely find something to do, even if you don't get into that activity that you want to. There's always something going on in Madrid. Wait, sorry about that. All right. Now, in terms of visa and other legal formalities, the first thing that we need to know is you have two different things to do. Just to talk grosso modo, no? In general, two different things depending on whether you are a European citizen or you're a non-European citizen. If you're a European citizen, there is nothing you have to do before you arrive to Spain, except for requesting your European health card, which you can do online, but this is totally up to you. It's not mandatory. We recommend it, but it's not mandatory. If you're a European citizen and you get to Spain, once you get to Spain, you have to get an appointment at the local foreign office or police station, and you need to basically tell them that you're now living in Spain. So, for example, my case, I'm Italian, so when I moved here, I went to the police and I registered myself as an Italian living in Spain, and I got a NIE, which translates to an identity number for foreigners, basically. That's what it translates to, okay? So if you're a European citizen, you show up with all the requirements that you are going to find in the resources that we're going to leave in this presentation. You make your appointment, you show up with that, and they give you an ID number. That number is basically a number that identifies you forever in this country. If, pardon me, if you're not a European citizen and you're going to live in Spain for more than 90 days, which is your case because you're going to be starting a program that's about a year, then you need a student visa, okay? Now, we highly recommend that you get your visa in your country of origin. And as of May 2025, you have to request your visa or at least have an appointment receipt before 60 days until the beginning of your program. This translates to, you need to have your visa, or you need to be in the process of obtaining your visa, or at least have a visa appointment before there are less than 60 days left to the beginning of your program, okay? This is a new regulation that came into place in May 2025. It's no big deal in the sense of we always encourage our students to get their visa as soon as they finish the enrollment process with us and they have all the documentation, just to get it as quickly, as quickly as you can, okay? Once you have your visa, which you're going to get in your country of origin, and you're going to come to Spain with your visa, when you're here in Spain, you have to request your TIE. Your TIE is the foreigner identity card. So, tarjeta de identidad de extranjero, all right? Again, you need an appointment for this, and you have different requirements that you need to show up with. Everything is detailed here for student visas, okay? And here, where it says more information on both processes, you have all the information for the requesting the TIE and requesting the NIE once you get here, all right? I'm not going to stop on every item here. This is not the space for that. We want to get more information in less time. But you will have this presentation, and we need you to please read it carefully and make sure that you understand everything you need to do for the process. It's not difficult, but it requires, paying attention and understanding how to go about it, okay? If your if your nationality allows you to enter the country as a tourist, then technically you can come to Spain as a tourist and then request your visa here. But now with the new regulation of having to have the process started or have your visa before 60 days are left to the beginning of your program, it doesn't really make sense, like how long are you going to be here for doing nothing, and in any case, like I said, we always recommend that you come to Spain with your visa granted already, okay? Now, imagine you don't want to go through the process and you're like, I don't want to have to struggle with this, or I don't want to have to read stuff. I want to delegate this on great hands. Well, here we have some services, some collaborators. We have partnerships with them to have better conditions for our students, and they can help you with your visa request and your TA request, and then your renewal for all these documents. They do like the full service for you. Okay. You just have to contact them, let them know that you're a student at ESIC. The emails that they have and the landing page that you're going to find there are already tracked for our students, so they will know. But just make sure that you mention this, and they will point you in the right direction, and they will assist you if you want to delegate your legal affairs on them. Okay. As one of the main requirements to get a visa, a student visa in Spain for Spain, is that you need to have health insurance for the whole time that you're going to be here. Okay. Here we have two other collaborators in terms of health insurance for students. You can also contact them, tell them that you're our students. Uniteco is actually a company of one of our alumni, so that's exciting for us. And yeah, here you go. These are some options as well. Now, something that's always like a big topic when you relocate is definitely accommodation. Okay. The main question that you need to ask yourself before deciding on whether you want a house or a student residence or what is where you want to live. Do you want to live near campus? Do you prefer to live more within the center of Madrid? If you want to live near campus, you have to move to Pozuelo de Alarcón or Aravaca. That's the nearest to our campus. Also close-ish is Boadilla, Las Rosas, Majadahonda. Okay, but definitely Pozuelo de Alarcón and Aravaca are the closest to our campus. If you prefer to live in the city center or closer to the city center, then the first option or the best option in terms of commute to our school is definitely Moncloa. Okay. If you cannot or don't like Moncloa, then you can move to the areas around Moncloa, which could be Ciudad Universitaria, Argüelles, which is not here, but when you put the metro line on Moncloa, you're going to find Argüelles as well. If you prefer to be in the gastro hub or the area for more nightlife or just more lively for activity like leisure activities and stuff, then you might want to have a look at Salamanca, Chamberí. Now, it's not that you can't get to campus from anywhere in Madrid, but the connection can be more difficult. Like it depends on where you're at. It would take you longer, or even it'll take you a few transfers to actually get to campus. Okay, so that's something that you have to bear in mind. It's not a problem. It's just something to keep in mind when you're going to decide. Okay. Now, in terms of I want private housing, or I prefer, well, private housing is not the correct term. I want an apartment, or I want to share a flat, or I prefer to have a room in a student residence, right? Whatever you prefer, all the options that we have put here, we've been working with for a long time now. If you want to live in Pozuelo or close to campus, student experience, and you want a student residence, then student experience is a good option for you. Nodis is also a good option for you. Nido and Livenza are also good options. They're very well located in terms of campus, okay? They're very well connected. If you prefer to be closer to the center of Madrid and you want a student residence, then the social hub is very close to Príncipe Pío, which is where you can get the cercanías, the train that takes you to campus, or Yugo Residencias, which is, well, they have different ones, but you want to be looking at the one in Faro, which is in Moncloa, okay? If you prefer to rent a room or to rent your own flat, then Idealista, I'm going to write it in the chat, Idealista is the first and most famous webpage to look for housing, okay? But other than that, these also work perfectly, okay? It's just Idealista is like the number one. I don't know why we don't have it in the list. Something very important. No one is going to ask you, well, no one that is not a scammer is going to ask you to make a transfer before you see the flat, okay? That's not something that we do here in Spain. You have the right to see a flat that is for rent and that you saw online, okay? So we highly advise that you do not make any transfers until you have met up with the landlord, you have seen the flat, you're sure that that's where you want to live in, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, make sure that unless you're hiring a service, okay, because there are services that help you get housing, unless you're doing that, then there shouldn't be a reason why you need to provide any sort of payment beforehand. Okay, just keep that in mind. Oh, okay. In terms of other preparations like bank account, how to get around Madrid or move around Spain, what to do in your free time, etc. So in terms of banks and banking or finance, ING, BB, VA, Santander are very renowned banks, and they work pretty well, and they're very easy to manage, both in terms of user experience as well as how to open the accounts and whatnot. They're very solid banks as well. Wise is an application. I don't think you can call it a bank, but it's an application to move money from different bank accounts from around the world. Okay, so say you come from North America, so your bank account is in the US or Canada, and you want to transfer dollars to euros to your bank account here in Europe. Wise is a very interesting option in terms of the percentage of commission and the exchange rate. So up until now, we found that they're like the best at the moment. MoneyJar is an online banking account that you can open in like 3 single steps. They only ask you, I think it's for your passport or ID or I don't know what. And you also have like a proper bank number, which is very useful for when you're going to get like a contract for, say, your mobile line or your landline or your Wi-Fi or whatnot. Usually in the contract, you need to provide a bank number. So they do that. They provide that for you as well. Okay. That's just in case you're not looking to have like a proper bank like ING or Santander. You know, they will solve the problems of, oh, I need a bank account. You know, like I need a proper number. MoneyJar works well. In terms of transport and mobility, so Metro Madrid, which is the logo that you see there, that's the logo for Metro Madrid. If you go to other cities, you'll see different logos. Metro Madrid works very well. You can get around Madrid on the metro, like, you know, with no problem. It obviously depends on where you're coming from and where you want to go to. That will take you longer, or that would mean more transfers or whatnot. But in any case, you can get around all of Madrid by metro. You just need to get your metro card, which you can request online as soon as you have your ID or even with your passport number. You just go on Google and you say Metro Tarjeta Transporte Metro Madrid, and it will come up, and you can start making either the appointment so that you can do it in person when you come here, or you can just request it online. Of course, you're going to need an address to send it to. Okay, so bear that in mind. You don't, until you have an address, don't order it. Okay, don't process it. Renfe is the company that works, well, that Cercanías belongs to Renfe, okay? So the Cercanías is a train that I was telling you at the beginning that brings you to Pozuelo from Príncipe Pío, for example. And Renfe is also the company that owns AVE. So AVE is the fast train line, okay? So with AVE and Wigo, you can get to Seville, you can get to the north part of Spain. You can travel around Spain with these trains, high-speed trains, okay? Wigo is known for being low cost, but the service works amazingly. So, I mean, don't think about it as, oh, low cost, so bad service. No, not at all. Not in this case. In terms of airplane travels, okay, Ryanair works wonders when it comes to, I don't want to spend too much money. But if you want to be like comfortable and you want things to go smoothly and you don't want any problems at all and you don't care to pay a little bit more, then Iberia Express is probably a better option. Ryanair works perfectly, and I've traveled with it many times. But it's true that, like, for example, bringing your backpack, they can be a bit annoying about it sometimes, like if it doesn't have the right dimensions or whatnot. Also, the seats are very uncomfortable. So it depends. It depends on what you're looking for. If you want something cheap and good that's going to get you there, Ryanair. If you prefer something not too expensive, but definitely a little bit more comfortable or better customer experience, definitely Iberia Express. Okay. And then last but not least, all the leisure and culture part. Well, there's, like I said in the beginning, so much to do in Madrid that it's a bit overwhelming sometimes, but it's definitely cool, because you don't get bored. Now, to find like cool places, or like, for example, to meet other expats, City Life Madrid is one of our partners, and they organize trips abroad, trips within Spain. They have Taco Tuesday, they have karaoke, they have language exchange, they have tons of activities, and you can become a member, or you can just attend, like straight up attend different activities that they do without being a member. You just get better discounts at certain activities when you become a member. Fever is an activity app or events app where you can find anything from, a cooking class to a trip to a painting class to whatever you can imagine, theater tickets, anything. It's quite good, and customer experience there is great, so I highly recommend it. Time Out used to be a blog, or it started as a blog that basically just told people cool stuff about cities that they were in, okay? It still is, I don't know if I would call it a blog, but it still is a webpage in which you can just find the best restaurants and what to do at certain dates and where to go for this or for that. I would say the difference between Time Out and Fever is that Fever is an e-commerce, like you can buy stuff directly there. Time Out is just awareness, it's just letting you know what's going on. Now, the last two logos that you see there, España and Turismo Madrid, are the logos of the official logos for tourism in Spain and tourism in Madrid. And basically, you want to visit these web pages because they would have like the calendar for special activities for a whole year in Spain. So, for example, a very, very, very famous festivity in Spain in April is La Feria de Abril. So it's this fair that they do in Seville where everybody gets dressed in this Sevillanas dresses, and people just, they're out in the streets and everybody's just having fun. There's a lot of culture and dances and flamenco and Sevillanas and everything. So you can go in these web pages to find out more about the different festivities and holidays in Spain so that you can plan your trips ahead of time. And in terms of cost of living in Spain, well, this is obviously very personal. Some people prefer to destine a bigger chunk of their budget to their home. Other people prefer to live in a cheaper home, but they spend more money traveling or eating out or whatnot. So this is totally up to you. This is just so that you have an idea. For example, we say going out to lunch or dinner between 15 and 35. Yeah, but you can also get a menu for 400 euros if you want a Michelin star. So there's everything in between. Okay, this is just so that you get an idea. All right. And before I go quiet and I listen to your questions, in the email that you're going to get with the recording of this session, this presentation, you're also going to get an onboarding kit. Now, the onboarding kit is a folder in which you have different other folders that have information on how to get to campus, the health insurance partnerships that we have with other companies so that you can get a better deal, information on housing. This one's very interesting because here you have some discounts in different student residences or platforms to look for a house, online platforms. The services for legal affairs, life in Spain, basically like what to do, when to do it, etc. Okay, so be sure to consult this when you get it, and if you have any questions, let us know. Now, your program. So your program dates were changed, as you know. You were all notified. We had to push these programs back a little bit because of the new regulation that we talked about earlier. So these are the dates that you got in your email, okay? Now, for the Mirge students, that the beginning date says Monday, October 6th, that's the first day of class, okay? That's your first class. But very likely you'll be getting an email from the secretary, the graduate student's office, that either Friday or Saturday, the 3rd or the 4th of October, you have an integration session, team building session, okay? We just don't know yet if it's going to be on a Friday or on a Saturday, that Friday or Saturday before the 6th of October, okay? Just to keep that in mind, but Monday the 6th is your first class. For IMBA, MDM, MITB, MMM students, Friday, October 10th is the integration session. And then your first class is classroom-based, I meant, sorry, is Monday, the 13th of October. Okay, I think we said that in the email. But just so you know, integration session and orientation and team building are also mandatory, okay? You'll get more on this anyways in a welcome email that you'll get very soon if you haven't gotten it yet. As of now and until the beginning of your classes, please check your email often. We communicate with you mainly through email unless, yeah, definitely mainly through email, okay? So please check spam, and if you don't hear from us in a while, hey, just hit us up just in case, okay? In case you're not getting emails or whatever, okay? All right, and last but not least, and now I'm really finished. So your main point of contact is student graduates office, okay? So for MDM, IMBA, MITB, MMM students, your contact is Secretaría de Posgrado, so the one on the left, master's degrees. And for MIRGE students, okay, that's Secretaría.universitaria, okay? This is just because the student graduate office in the business school campus is for students of MDM, MITB, IMBA, etc. And then for students of the MIRGE program, is the one located in our esic University campus. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go there to speak to them. You can email them, you can talk to them on the phone, but just so you know that physically they are in our university campus, okay? And that's it on my side. Thank you so much for your time. Let me quickly check if we have any questions here. Nope, no questions. So either I was very clear or you were not paying attention. Hopefully it's the first one. All right, guys. Well, if you don't have any questions right now, like I said before, don't hesitate to contact us when you get the presentation. Oh, wait, I have a message. Hey, I got a quick question. Yay, hit me up. I think Joao is typing, hopefully. It's about the choosing of the classes. Is it appropriate to ask in this meeting? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe you're referring to the optional classes that you have, which allow you to personalize your program, in which case, no, this is definitely not the forum. I have no idea about this, but do speak to your advisor, okay? The person that helped you with the enrollment process. They will be able to assist you. Does anybody have any more questions? Nope. Absolutely. Can you tell me the name of your advisor, Joao? So I can speak to the director? Okay, yes, I got you. I'll speak to Juan and I'll have him contact you, okay? Either Ignacio or Jonathan will get in touch with you. No problem. See you soon. Hi, Med. I'm all ears. Well, eyes. You can't talk. How long does the visa process, take usually? It depends on the consulate, meaning, I don't know, requests in Madrid take very long because we have a lot of requests, but it can go anywhere from maybe a month to 3 months, more or less. In any case, we advise that as soon as you have your documentation, you start the process. You know, it's easier for you. You don't have to be worried about time. So yeah, but yeah, I would say maybe a month and a half to 3 months. In the worst case scenario, 6 months. No problem. Remember that you need to ask for your visa, or you need to start the process or have an appointment before 60 days are left until the beginning of your program. Okay. All right. I think that's it for now then. Thank you so much. And I am looking forward to greeting you at school very soon. Bye-bye. Take care.